Hi, so in this video, I'm going to be giving a brief summary of the 14 contracts that make up the NEC3 suite of contracts. I'll be explaining what each one is and just giving a brief summary of when you will use them. So whether you're a quantity surveyor or a project manager, or you're just interested in understanding what the NEC3 is all about, this will give you a brief overview. All right, so let's dive in. So what is the NEC3? The NEC3 stands for New Engineering Contract, and the 3 stands for third edition. We are currently on the 4th edition, so we are currently on the NEC4, but the NEC3 is still widely used in the UK for lots of the major infrastructure projects still. The NEC3 was designed for flexibility, collaboration, and also has within it a clear risk management structure. So NEC3 contracts are used for everything from major infrastructure projects right down to smaller local projects. They set out responsibilities clearly, they help reduce disputes, making them the preferred choice for many organizations. I've personally worked on big projects such as the HS2 railway in the UK, which used the NEC3. I think is a great contract. So the NEC3 is divided into the 14 contracts in the NEC3 is divided into 4 main categories, which I'm going to go through. Before I go through them, I'm just going to list out the 4 categories here. So first, you've got the main construction contracts. Then you've got the professional services and supply contracts. Then you've got the framework and service contracts. And then you've got the dispute resolution and collaboration contracts. So let's start with the main construction contracts. So in here, you've got the first contract is the engineering and construction contract, or the ECC for short, is also called the black book within the industry. So this is the most commonly used contract for large projects within the UK and around the world. So let's say the government wanted to improve on the national road network and they wanted to spend £100 million to build new roads, etc., going up and down the country. So they will use the NEC ECC contract. The black book will be the contract that will be used to deliver the project, and it will be used due to its flexibility, its focus on collaboration, the risk management structure that's built within the contract. So following down from there, so you've got the ECC, and then following down from the ECC, you've got the engineering and construction short contracts. So as the name suggests, it's a simplified version for smaller projects. So let's say the local council wanted to build a footbridge for like 250k. Instead of using the ECC, which would be a bit excessive for this simpler project, they'll use the ECSC contract for that project. And then further down again, you've got the engineering and construction subcontract. So this contract, for example, let's say you was building a major office development under the ECC contract, and you want to let out a package, the steel fabrication package for that big job, to a subcontractor. You will use the ECS. The ECS is used to align the subcontractor's responsibilities with the main ECC contract. Hope that makes sense. So under the ECC contract, you've got the engineering and construction short subcontract. So this is a lighter version for simpler subcontracts. So for example, let's say you're doing a small school renovation project and you want to sub out the plumbing works. ECSS will be suitable for this when you're working with straightforward subcontract work that doesn't require the full ECS. Hope that makes sense. The next category is the professional services contract, or the PSSC. This covers services like consultancy and design. So for example, the design consultancy for the HS2 project would have been procured using the PSSC contract. So they're used for engineering, architecture, and like project management services or quantity surveying services. And again, following the same structure, under that you've got the professional services short contract, or PSSC. Again, this is a simplified version for more simpler jobs. Next, under that, you've got the supply contracts, or the SC. This is used for procuring goods and equipment. So let's say you wanted the procurement of wind turbine components for an offshore wind farm, for example. The supply contract will ensure clear delivery terms and quality standards for that high value equipment. Again, under that, you've got the supply short contract. Again, this is a shorter, less complex version for lower value purchases. For example, the supply of precast concrete blocks for a temporary site compound, for example. So yeah, that'll be used for lower value goods with simpler procurement needs. Next, you've got the framework and services contracts so for longer term agreements that are covering multiple projects. So for example, let's say your local council need to maintain a lot of their properties over let's say a 5 or 6 year period. They'll use this contract, or they'll use the framework contract, so that they don't have to keep going out to get new people every time the works will come out, basically. Next, you've got the term services contracts. So this is used for ongoing maintenance and service agreements. Again, for example, a 5-year facilities management contract for a hospital trust, for example. So let's say the NHS, for example, 2 NHS hospitals needed people to keep, I don't know, the lights on, to service the lights for some of their machines, for example. The term services contract is what you use. It's ideal for ongoing maintenance, repairs, and operational support. The last category, you've got the dispute resolution and collaboration contracts. Within this category, you've got the adjudicators contract, AC. Obviously, that appoints an adjudicator for dispute resolution. What it does, for example, it appoints an adjudicator and ensures that the adjudicator's role and payment terms are clearly defined.